Out of nowhere, I just decided to listen to Daft Punk and their entire discography, so here I am talking about their 4 albums. I hope you enjoy it. Daft Punk is a French electronic band. Incredible, one of the few good things to come from the French, along with Gojira I think. I haven't listened to them yet. Although electronic is their main genre, they also have post-disco, French house and dance elements in their sound, and classic music from the 60s, 70s and 80s were also a huge influence on their sound, as well as we will see in their sampling picks. I will go as far to claim that they are the very first vaporwave and future funk band ever. I personally label them as proto-vaporwave and proto-future funk. For me, as someone who first got into these genres before anything else, it is quite evident that the modern musicians that play them are most definitely inspired by Daft Punk. With all the cheese out of the way, let's talk about Homework, which was their first release, coming out in 1995, and for sure the one album I listened to the least. I honestly don't like the sounds present in here. There are just too many unpleasant noises and scratches that they used in this album, and I'm glad that they never came back to using them again in their discography. It's like listening to someone scratching a plate with a fork. I also think that the artwork is garbage, and that's true for most of their albums. By most I mean 2, since they have only 4 studio albums. Other than that, I will say that the 2 songs from this album that I enjoy are Around the World, you get the point, and Teachers. The first one is just so good that time flies when I listen to it, while the second one is just as weird and has some nice repeating percussions in the background. So that's pretty much it. Discovery was their second album, released in 2001, and the one album from theirs that I listened to the most, that's for sure. It has amazing songs all the way, but the one I would pick as my favorites are One More Time, Harder, Better, Faster, Stronger, Night Vision, Something About Us, Face to Face, and Too Long, which is ironically the longest song in the album at exactly 10 minutes of length. They use a lot of sampling in their music, but also play their own instruments. For example, Something About Us has 0 samples from what I read, while Face to Face and Harder are full-on sampled songs. I like this album a lot. It would have been my favorite had they not released something better. The movie Interstellar 5555, which is the companion piece for the album's clips, is also quite fun for you to watch together while listening to the album, and I would definitely recommend you to go through that experience at least once as well. To end up this section, I will just say that the album artwork is not my cup of tea, but their band's name looks like Liquid Mercury, so that's fine. I prefer the Japanese edition's cover with the characters from Interstellar 5555 at display. It looks more interesting, so that's it. Their next album came out in 2005, titled Human After All. This album is not better than Discovery, but leagues ahead of the noise from Homework. So I enjoyed this one a bit. Let's ignore the boring artwork and talk about the music. The songs I like in here are Robot Rock. I didn't know it was that meme song until I listened to it, which was a funny surprise. Other good songs are Steam Machine, Make Love, and Emotion. This album also has Technologic, which they decided to use some goofy chipmunk line effect in their vocals, whatever. Another thing about the song is the damn clip they made for it. If you watch the clip for the song, you will expose yourself to analog horror before analog horror existed. So yes, Daft Punk created not only vaporwave and future funk, but also analog horror. To end this part, I'd like to mention the Brainwasher, which for some reason reminds me so much of Black Sabbath's The Iron Man song. It's that part, I am, and then I expect my guy to say the Iron Man, but he instead says the Brainwasher, and then I'm disappointed. Ah man, where do I even start? Random Access Memories, or RAM, was released in 2013 and is, in my opinion, their best work. It features their best raw instrumentation and also the best overall songs the band has ever done. This album is also more aligned with rock and has elements of post-rock music in it, so that probably contributed to my liking of it. It even has their best artwork. Look at those robot dudes. Every song in here is good. Giorgio by Moroder is the song from that My Name is Giorgio meme. I always believed it was a JoJo meme from part 5, but no, it comes from this song. Within Instant Crush and Lose Yourself to Dance, I find incredibly emotional songs and just love them. I'm not the type of guy who likes to dance, but these songs make me want to dance. The album follows with Touch, another great song, and Get Lucky, which is obviously the one Daft Punk song everybody knows. Beyond and Motherboard follow it, and the second one, Motherboard, is an instrumental and also my favorite Daft Punk song, period. The last two songs are Doing It Right and Contact, which I also like a lot. I especially enjoy what they made up at the very beginning of Contact. Building up that, I guess you could call it a harmony, melody, I don't know, I'm not a musician, but the way the narrator guy speaks at the beginning of the song is just so nice to hear, and it has a nice ring to it, I love it. So those are my thoughts on Daft Punk. Definitely a band that I will come back to many times in the future, especially for RAM and Discovery. It is just so unfortunate and sad that they won't be releasing any new material, as for last I checked they disbanded in 2021. Sad times. Daft Punk is not at all my type of music. If you don't know, I primarily listen to progressive rock and heavy metal, but Daft Punk is definitely great as well. So those are my thoughts on Daft Punk. Leave in the comments yours as well. See you next time.